Mario Maker 2 isn't a game you think about beating. Yes, you can beat levels in Mario Maker, but with over 50 million player-made levels, can this game actually be beaten? Yes, and I'll be attempting to do so here. What I mean by that is first I'll be challenging myself to beat the story mode that has over 120 levels, as well as beating each of the ninja runs. I'll also need to beat a player-made level in difficulties easy through super expert. That's not all, as to add to that, I'll need to complete an entire super world. And since this is Mario Maker, I'll also be making a new level. Can I beat Mario Maker 2 while currently only having a total of 15 hours of playtime? Let's find out. I want to start off by completing the entire story mode. I watched this opening cutscene where a dog destroys everything, and yay! I start off with the opening level, and as expected, it was very simple. I went through quickly, not going out of my way for any coins, and I beat the level. Level 2 introduced on-off blocks and used them in a very creative way, and after completing that level, I made 1% progress on the castle. Level 4 comes along, and it's my first 2-star difficulty level. Let's try not to die. Instantly, you can already see it's a more difficult level than the previous 3, but not difficult enough to lose on. The very next level comes along, and I see that I need a P-switch to progress. I look around for the switch and can't find it anywhere. I then think it might be in a hidden block under this munchkin. When I go to find out, I died just 5 levels in. Wow. I try again, spending even more time looking for a hidden block, and it's not until my 5th time in this room that I notice this door. I'm not even making this up for content. I literally didn't notice this door until now. Oh. Level 6 comes along as my first 3-star level, and listen, I wanted the spin jump to take him out so he doesn't turn into 2, okay? After 3 deaths, I got through each room successfully and completed the level. I carried on beating level after level, collecting coin after coin, and making progress on this castle. After beating every level available so far, I was just 10 coins short on progressing this storyline. I went back to the opening level to collect those 10 coins, then spent it on the castle, and my story mode journey continues. Everything was going fine until this level. It had a no leaving the ground claricon, and these chain chomps jump. I died over and over, and I actually game overed. I thought the level ended here. Wow, 9 deaths on a level is just... Let's continue. Yeah, I died on the very next level. In my defense, I didn't know what a stone was coming into this level. Why? Let's not talk about this. And right after I helped all those toads with their problems, the next level had a great use of these on-off blocks, and I had fun playing this level. It gets even better as the level after that really had me on the edge of my seat, having loads of fun avoiding these poison mushrooms. Or this poison mushroom. I go on to beat more and more levels, making the story mode 50% complete. Now that I'm halfway done with story mode, let's go ahead and complete story mode and get this last 50%. But first, just 65% in, I got this amazing level. Wow, so creative and fun. It was so good, I just kept wanting to replay it over and over. To make this even worse, when I did finally beat this level, I didn't even feel relief for finishing it. In fact, once I finished it, I went to write this script. The last level before I've beaten the story mode comes along, and it's the first time I've ever faced a Meowser. This level was pretty good. Sadly, I did die twice, but afterwards I was able to defeat Meowser and complete this level along with all of story mode. Throughout all of story mode, there were 31 different levels that I died in, and I finished with a total of 81 deaths along with 4 game overs. Story mode was more fun than I expected, and I think the purpose of a fun way to teach you the game was a success. Now that I've completed the story mode, let's move on to the ninja runs. In these runs, I won't be trying to get a world record, but I will be trying to beat each run as fast as I can. There are 21 ninja speedruns. Let's get to it. Right off start, I wanted to go as fast as I could without knowing the optimal route. This plan didn't work so well for me, as I ended up dying 6 times before I eventually beat it in 32 seconds, and that's not even an impressive score. The very next level had a Link power-up, which is pretty cool because I've never used it before. I spent this first go around trying to learn the moves that Link has, and then I found this moves list that I didn't even know was a thing. I couldn't figure out how to use this bomb, as the instructions are very unclear. At least that's what I thought. I completely looked past this first instruction. Yeah, I know. After spending way too much time on this ninja, I finished with an amazing time. I do know that after your first attempt, you have the option to see the ninjas to better your time, and I'm sure that these runs were very fun to do as they came out, but right now, trying to get a high score doesn't really interest me. And my skill level. High score? Let's just beat the last 18 Ninja speedruns. Now it's time to move on to player-made levels. I'll be going into 4 different endless runs, 1 for each difficulty, and be a single level with no skips. Let's begin with easy. This level was, well, easy. I also got a world record, which is perfect because I want to get that as well as a first clear in this video. Let's move on to normal. I die right off the start because I panic ran right after my first real attempt, and yay, hidden blocks with a pick-a-path. I chose the wrong path. Once you choose the path on the left, the level is pretty much over. Now on to expert. I've never beaten an expert level before, and this was definitely harder than the previous 2. I was able to find some cheese, and after this last muncher came by, the level was over and I've beaten my first expert level. I also got a first clear, which finishes another goal I had. Now time for super expert. I really hope my first super expert level isn't... After seeing the world record and getting a close attempt early on, I had confidence I could beat this. I continued to fail whilst here and there getting close. Now with my final life... Here in my second super expert level, I needed to reach the goal in a Koopa car. After messing around and having some fun, I decided to give this a go. I found hidden blocks and just couldn't get this car up to the second layer. I then checked for a hidden car but had no luck. After dying, I had an idea. I could do what I did before for fun, but this time I can do it for the win. If I could bounce this car to the second layer, I'd be able to beat this level. After many failed attempts, I was finally able to get the car up. Now all I had to do was activate more hidden blocks and I'd be good. What, did you think I was gonna die? Just like that, I've beaten my first super expert level. Now the final thing to do before I make my own level, beat a super world. I found a super world that had 2 worlds with 10 levels, and depending on the difficulty of these levels, this is the super world that I'd beat. I get into this first level and right off the start, you can see that it's a very traditional level. I beat it in 1 shot under 25 seconds and move on to level 2. What the heck happened from level 1 to level 2? I finished this first try, but wow, there's a big change. Level 3, 4, and 5 go on with ease, pretty much how level 2 was. And now it was time for the second world of the super world. The opening level, well, let's just finish this super world. I make it to the final level and sadly die. My very next attempt and I was able to beat it, and there we go, a first clear. Now time to move on to creating my own level. Going into this, I have made 2 levels previously, so I do have some level making experience. I want this level to be a new soup theme as it's my favorite and I have the most experience with it. I didn't have a plan coming into this. I like to just load up the course maker and wait for something to catch my eye. After looking around for a bit, I now want a sky level where you need to use these bill blasters to traverse through the level. I put spikes on top so you can't just jump through that way, and I put hidden blocks so you can't wall jump your way through. Next up, I wanted you to have to use this blaster twice, so I made a system with an on-off block so you'd have to go back and forth. I then made a platform with an on-off wall so the next time I use an on-off, it'll be lined up right. I want the theme of this level to continue, so I added more bill blasters you'd have to use to continue, but this time you need to Z-jump so you can land on the spiny to get across the spikes, and whilst that is happening, these bullets will have shot again, so you need to use them twice. Phew. I put in a reset door just in case the bullets became off sync. Now time for the subworld. This is an upward subworld where you have to use the bill blasters to go up to beat the speed of the auto scroll. This first part starts off pretty slow so you can kind of ease into it. Right here I could put indicators on where you're supposed to jump, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory, plus you can jump in different spots and still get the same outcome as of now. I tried to make a floating blaster section, but the wings plus the auto scroll makes this very random, so I got rid of it. I changed it into a spot very similar to the way bottom. Next, I added blocks with vines where you're supposed to climb up while avoiding the flying blasters. After playing through this part once, I didn't like it, so I got rid of it and decided to add a flying boom boom that you needed to defeat to get a key to carry on. Depending on how fast you are, you can make this fight easier by hitting more vine blocks. I added these key spots just to notify players that you do need to defeat boom boom to carry on. After creating this fight, I didn't really think it fits in with this level, so what I did is make 2 separate paths. The first path is this subworld. If you can defeat the boom boom, there's a key door that'll take you to the end, or you can take the second path that'll be more like the first half of this level. I tried my best to show here that there are 2 separate paths paths between the pipe and the door. The pipe boom boom path is complete, so now let's work on the second path, continuing how the level's been made so far, minus the subworld. More bill blasters, but this time you need to time your jump so you can hit the on off while continuing to jump using the bill blasters. By the end of this part, you'll have to hit the on off yet again to continue. Once you finish that, there's now a final room. A survival room where you have to jump bill to bill waiting for the spiny to give you a key. You aren't able to sit in this room and wait. If you do that, the key won't drop. There's only one thing left to do. A super secret dev exit that definitely won't kill you. Now that the level is complete, all that's left to do is the clear check. Surprisingly, this clear check only took me 11 minutes to clear. So far, out of the 3 levels I've made, I think this one's the easiest. Coming into this, I wanted this one to be the hardest level of mine, but with my first level taking me around 45 minutes to clear and my second level taking me almost 2 hours to clear, this third level only taking me 11 minutes to clear makes me think it's my easiest. Unless, of course, this third level only taking 11 minutes is just because maybe I've gotten better throughout this video. I don't know about that. Here's the part where you can choose what path to take. I decided to choose the continuation part of the level as I like it more than the upwards boom boom, and this section right here is probably my favorite section of the entire level. This final survival section isn't hard at all, as you pretty much only have to survive one cycle on these bills. By the way, that blue pipe is the exit pipe for the boom boom room.